Take the word running. What does your NLP system store? Is it run? Is it running? Is it RUNN+ING? Is it RUNN+ING? Different systems give different answers, and each answer is right for some questions and wrong for others. This is the great split of word form handling. 3 techniques: lemmatization, stemming, subword tokenization. Each solves a different problem. Each fails at a different one. And picking wrong is one of the most common ways a real NLP pipeline silently breaks. Last episode, we covered productivity, why languages generate new words faster than any dictionary can capture. Today, we look at the 3 engineering answers. Because when your system sees running for the first time, it has to reduce it to something it already knows. And there are 3 different reductions to choose from. Here's the puzzle in one sentence. Reducing a word form to a canonical shape is not a linguistic choice. It's an engineering choice. And which engineering choice you make depends entirely on what you're going to do with the result. Today's 3 beats. First, lemmatization, the linguistically correct answer. Slow, careful, needs a dictionary. Second, stemming, the crude, fast approximation, Porter's algorithm, chop suffixes and move on. Third, subword tokenization, the modern statistical answer. BPE decides where to cut based on data, not linguistics. Beat 1. Lemmatization, the linguistically pure answer. A lemma is the dictionary form of a word. Run is the lemma of running. Ran, runs. Good is the lemma of better, best. To lemmatize, you need to know the part of speech and the paradigm. A lemmatizer is basically a small AI that reads context and consults an inflection dictionary. Why does it help? Because for tasks like question answering, information extraction, and legal search, you want to know a document mentions running regardless of tense. Lemmatization collapses all the forms into one entry. Precision jumps, recall jumps. You get the semantic content without drowning in surface variation. The cost? It's slow. And it needs language-specific tools. English lemmatizers work great. Turkish lemmatizers are hard to build. Vietnamese has almost no inflection, so lemmatization does nothing. If you're pushing millions of documents through a pipeline, that per-word dictionary lookup adds up. Beat 2. Stemming, the pragmatic 1980s answer. Martin Porter's algorithm from 1980. Cut suffixes with a fixed rule list. If a word ends in ing, chop it. If it ends in ly, chop it. If it ends in atiol, replace with ate. Fast, deterministic, runs on a potato, and it does not need a dictionary. The result is called a stem. Not a real word, just a canonical shape. Porter's stemmer turns university into UNIVERS, turns computed into compute, turns trouble into trouble. The stems are not lemmas, they are string hashes, but they cluster related forms together, and that's often good enough for search and classification. Where does stemming fail? It over-collides. Universe and university both stem to universe. 2 different words, same stem, and it under-collides too. GEESE and GOOSE. When go, irregular forms escape the rules. So Porter's stemmer is fast and useful, but not linguistically honest. Beat 3. Subword tokenization, the modern answer. We covered BPE 2 videos ago. Merge frequent character pairs. Build a vocabulary from data. Where does this fit next to the older 2 techniques? Simple. Subword doesn't try to be linguistically correct at all. It splits words based on statistical frequency, and the pieces are whatever the algorithm found useful. So which do you use? For search or legal document retrieval, lemmatization, you want semantic precision. For basic bag of words classification with millions of documents, stemming, cheap and cheerful. For any modern neural model, subword, because that's what the model expects. Different problems, different techniques. Here's the honest reality. 10 years ago, these were fierce debates in NLP conferences. Today, most production teams don't even choose. They use the tokenizer that came bundled with their pre-trained model. If you're using GPT, you use OpenAI's BPE. If you're using Llama, you use Sentence Piece. The choice was made by whoever trained the model, years before you sat down. 3 takeaways before the quiz. 1. Lemmatization is the dictionary form. Slow, careful, best for semantic search and legal documents. 2. Stemming is a fast rule-based hash, not a real word. Great for bulk classification, bad for anything that needs precision. 3. Subword is data-driven. It doesn't care about linguistics. Every modern LLM uses it because it was picked at training time and locked in. Quiz 1. What does lemmatization need that stemming does not? A more CPU cores. B. A part-of-speech tag and an inflection dictionary. C. A GPU. Or D. Nothing extra. B. Part-of-speech and a paradigm dictionary. Because knowing that RAN maps to run requires knowing that RAN is a verb in past tense. Stemming skips that entirely. It just chops suffixes with fixed rules. Quiz 2. What's the classic failure of Porter's stemmer? A too slow for big datasets. B. Overcollides UNIVERS plus university into the same stem and undercollides GEESE and GOOSE. C. Only works on Latin. Or D. Needs GPU. B. Both directions fail. UNIVERS and university collapse into UNIVERS. GEESE and GOOSE don't. The rules chop suffixes but don't understand roots. That's the price of not using a dictionary. Quiz 3. For a modern neural LLM like GPT-4, which do you use? A lemmatization. B. Porter stemming. C. Subword tokenization. The tokenizer bundled with the pre-trained model. Or D. All three, chained together. C. Subword, and specifically the one the model came with. GPT-4 uses OpenAI's BPE, Llama uses sentence piece. You don't choose. The choice was made at training time, which is why the next video is about how BPE broke 50 years of old NLP wisdom. Back to the puzzle. All three techniques are fixes for the same core problem. How do you handle word forms without exploding your vocabulary? Lemmatization asks the language what belongs together. Stemming makes up a rule and moves fast. Subword asks the data. And in the last 10 years, the data-driven answer won so decisively that the debate basically ended, which is the story of the next video. Next time, why BPE tokens broke a lot of old wisdom. For 50 years, NLP assumed the word was the basic unit. Then GPT-2 used 50,000 subword tokens and outperformed every word-based system. What happened? Hit subscribe if you want it the day it drops.